It really helped me about a month ago to start looking back at other social justice movements, the fight against slavery, the fight for women's rights, and the fight for queer rights. Um, Looking back at how those people viewed their fight and how they were criticized, and seeing the similarities between what they said and how they felt, and how they were criticized and how they responded, gave me the moral clarity to feel confident when I discuss animal abuse with people who abuse animals for taste pleasure, non-vegans. Um, and I want to share with you a quote that really inspires me and sort of keeps me moving forward in my advocacy. So this is by William Lloyd Garrison. He wrote this during abolition, which was the fight to free slaves. So, I am aware that many object to the severity of my language, but is there not cause for severity? I will be as harsh as truth and as uncompromising as justice. On this subject, I do not wish to think or to speak or to write with moderation. No. Tell a man whose house is on fire to give a moderate alarm. Tell him to moderately rescue his wife from the hands of the ravisher. Tell the mother to gradually extricate her babe from the fire into which it has fallen. But urge me not to use moderation in a cause like the present. I am in earnest. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse, and I will not retreat a single inch, and I will be heard. So that's William Lloyd Garrison. And through this sort of antiquated language, I think we can pick up on what he's saying, which is, no, I won't speak with moderation. No, I won't back down from this argument. I will never be moderate when I speak about the horrors that are happening to these people, right? I will not retreat a single inch, and I will be heard. So William Lloyd Garrison, way back in the day, is having the same sort of discussion that we have now, which is you're extreme. You're being too extreme. You're an extremist. You're an extreme vegan. You're preachy. You're pushy. All the abolitionists were called those same things, right? They were all spoken about in the same way. So understanding that people who have been fighting against injustice from the beginning of time have encountered the same criticism that we encounter, but they did not give up, right? They didn't give up. So William Lloyd Garrison did not retreat a single inch. And it's very interesting if you actually look back, he had some interesting interactions with Frederick Douglass, and who believed that there were different ways to approach the discussion. It was a cool thing to read about. So I urge you to do some research on William Lloyd Garrison and even the Grimke sisters. They were two sisters who were born into a rich, white slave-owning family in the South. And they spent 6 months begging, praying, and asking their family to give up slavery, right? To stop owning slaves and to fight for the freedom of these individuals. And when their family refused, and again, think about how things are now, right? They just wouldn't listen. And we look at it and we think it's wild. How could they justify? Well, how are people justifying harming individuals now, right? So when they didn't do it, after 6 months of begging and pleading, the sisters did something that was unheard of at the time. They left their family and they went north to join the fight against slavery. So it's really interesting that they did that. And they have some really cool quotes as well if you want to look them up. And of course, Frederick Douglass as well. So if you want to do some research, I found it very inspiring and very encouraging. And, again, we touched on this last time, but I want to make it clear, and I want to give, the people who don't harm animals unnecessarily, vegans, I want to give any vegans that are listening sort of information and some wording and some language that may help you. So when we compare, and again, we talked about this last time, but I think it warrants a revisit. When we compare slavery to animal liberation or animal subjugation, we aren't saying that human beings and animals are the same, right? We're not saying that. And when you talk about slavery in terms of how it mirrors the oppression against animals, it's important to recognize that. It's important to recognize that a lot of people feel that it is inflammatory. My ancestors were brought here, it just doesn't matter, but my ancestors, in the context of this discussion, my ancestor was brought here against his will on a boat and sold to somebody. So the concept and the offense is understandable, right? Some people think that it's not fair to make a parallel there, but have the confidence to always bring it back to the following, which is, I'm not saying that humans and animals are the same, and between you and I, we can feel that way, but not tell people that we feel that way all the time, right? So we can say, I'm not saying that humans and animals are the same, because they're not, right? Biologically, they're different. What I'm saying is that the system of oppression is the same, and it was wrong to cause harm unnecessarily to an individual, and it is wrong today to unnecessarily cause harm to an individual who can experience pain and suffering. So that's what you want to focus on if you ever get into that discussion and make that comparison and make that parallel. You may be, attacked or criticized for that parallel, but have that sort of in the wing as a response. No, I'm not saying that human beings and animals are the same. I'm saying that oppression was wrong for a human being, and it's wrong for any individual who can experience pain, right? It's wrong to harm an animal unnecessarily. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to give you those two quotes, and just touch base today with my shirt off. I guess it's hot in my house, and also nobody's watching these videos, but maybe there's one vegan out there who will feel inspired and kind of get some information. But yeah, so take care, and if anybody watching does have questions or wants to give me an idea for the next video, go for it. I have some vegan friends that I'm thinking about interviewing or asking questions to if anybody wants to, or maybe even let me know. I have twos of threes of people who watch these videos. So if either of you would like to ask me a question about my journey into ending my use of animals, ask them. I'm happy to answer.